Well, so much for smooth running. We encountered a little problem with our Axeman Anderson here. Not quite sure what it is yet, but it's something to do with the fan. So if you remember back 10 months ago, we fired this thing up with the AHS style bearings and fan and motor and combination mount assembly. It made kind of a rattly noise, but could never figure out what it was. I thought it was the pillow block bearings. We put new pillow block bearings on it. Same rattly noise. It wasn't terrible, so we just ran it. Last week, one day I was out here in the garage and I noticed it was running and it wasn't making a rattly noise anymore. It sounded nice and smooth. So I thought, well, it must have cured itself. Last night, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I came into the kitchen and I could hear it out here running, which usually isn't good because you can't really hear it in the kitchen. So I came out and it was making a noise. Basically, once a revolution, you could hear the fan hit something, well, scrape against something. So I shut it off, went to bed. This morning before I went to work, I got up and I decided, well, you know what I can do? Actually, amazingly, the fire was still going strong. I mean, it was literally still had 155 degrees of stack temperature, and the boiler was like 147 or something like that. So the fire was still going strong. So what I did was I figured, like, it seemed like the fan was hitting something on this side. So I loosened up these pillow block bolts. There's two on this bearing and two on this bearing. And I just slid the shaft back, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And spun it. And I didn't hear anything. So it still rattled and stuff. So it's ready to come on right now. I've had it off. So let's see what kind of sounds it makes now. That's strange. It actually sounds perfectly normal. All right. Well, maybe not perfectly normal. But anyway, I'm going to open this thing up. And so with this setup now, this should be pretty easy. Basically, you take out these 4 nuts and undo the wiring to the motor there, and this whole thing should just pull right off. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we took it out, took it apart. Here's what we found. So the bearing on this side seems fine. This one, for some reason, let's see if we can shed a little light on it here. Has a good bit of play in it. I don't know why or how, but that is the same noise that the old bearings made, and this made this noise when I replaced both of these pillow blocks bearings last year. So I'm going to take that pillow block bearing off. Luckily, I've saved the old ones, and we'll see what it is. I mean, maybe it's something to do with the shaft, but pretty odd. Okay, so here it is all apart. Well, mostly apart. And bad news. It's not really that pillow block bearing. I don't know if the camera will pick it up too well, but this is right about where that pillow block bearing sat. And this is stepped. So I think what has happened is the little set screws in these pillow block bearings, they look like that. I always had trouble keeping the front ones tight. And I guess if you don't have them tight, that's what it does. It just warbles around and screws up your shaft. So that shaft is screwed up. So not sure what we're going to do now. There's an outside chance that we could put an Axeman bearing box on here, but we'll see. All right, well, we weren't able to do anything with this AHS stuff, so we grabbed a bunch of old Axeman stuff and stuck it on here. And listen to this. I've been running the rattling AHS stuff for 10 months now. I forgot how quiet this is. I mean, yeah, as you can see, it is messy. Basically, the way you tell you have enough oil in there is you fill it up until it starts coming out the front or the back. And then you know it's enough. But the big disadvantage of the Axeman setup is this fan plate is the hottest part of the boiler. So the AHS is it's nice sandwiched, insulated with ceramic, so it's better for that. But well, I guess we'll have to try to see if the AHS can become this quiet.